Welcome back to my kitchen update. I am continuing on with tiling, and I will be tiling for a good chunk of my life. In the last video, I finished my first row, which took me forever, and now I'm continuing on with my second row. So I am cutting off the pieces on the bottom right away to hopefully make my life easier later for tiling the rest of this row. It's kind of a crazy thing to admit, but honestly, one of the harder parts of this tiling is just getting this top layer off. It's insane. Like I bought a new sticker. I can't think of what it's called. So I've used 3 different varieties now, and yeah, that one is probably the hardest, one of the harder ones to get off, which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure if you've noticed, and I don't even know if I've noticed yet at this point. Yes, it was smarter to cut the bottom part off, made my life easier in that way, but I will just now have to cut small pieces for the top. So obviously looking back at it, I could have maybe cut more of the tile off and maybe made it like a half sheet so that I wouldn't have to make those little baby cuts. But you live and you learn, which seems to be my motto with this DIY stuff. So there you go. I'm also trying to decide if that little gap is going to bother me. It does bother me, so again, I will be taking tile off and on multiple times. I feel like when I push on it, even if I take it off and then I push really hard, I do feel like that did help with keeping that on there, the sticker, even though I know the directions say not to. Yeah, I think it looks better. Here we go with all the baby cuts. I basically just used the ones I cut off from the bottom, so it wasn't too bad, obviously. I didn't have to go and make cuts, but if I could go back and do this over, I would have cut just a little bit higher on that tile so that the cut would have been just a smidge bigger. learning from the first row, I'm trying to finish more instead of bouncing around. So I'm trying to finish like one little section and then move on instead of doing it one section, going to the other side and starting that. So I'm trying to finish and then move on, which is unlike me. But the second row is a lot easier to do. Now that I've gotten more cuts done, and even just from the first row, I'm starting to just use things that were cut already. I'm just using things that look like they fit, and then they look good. I also eyeball some cuts, like these corner pieces. I basically just eyeball them and cut them. This one was so much easier to do, but here's the second row. So this is the third muscle bound stuff I bought. I think that was a Menards brand, I don't remember. And it really freaked me out because of the bubble that it has. But as soon as you take the top piece off, the bubbles are gone. It's a weird effect it just has for some reason. When you put it on the back sticker on the wall, there's that bubble there. But as soon as you take the top layer off, it does disappear. And then the third row now, I wanted the bottom row to be the bigger one because we have like our coffee machine obviously was going to go there. And then I kind of had it going smaller as I got up. So then now that it's on the third row and I just knew that that stuff was going to be more of like display stuff, you know, random stuff. This one whole solid piece of a tile fits up there. And obviously, again, I didn't want to make small cuts. So I didn't cut, you know, from the bottom. I cut the top and bottom pieces to make it's so much easier. This third row went so much quicker. I hate wasting stuff, so I'm going through ones I cut already to see if any will fit, or just to cut a smidge more off of one that's already been cut so I don't have to cut any new ones. So it's the same thing that I did in the second one, but I'm doing it a lot more on this third row because I, quite frankly, am over this, even though I have all the side and the top part of the wall to do. So I'm just trying to make my life go smoother at this point. And because I'm quite over this project, even though I'm not even halfway done, I did not get all the footage of me finishing this third row. So sorry about that, but I'm starting on the sides. This is the edging that needs to go on the wall so the tile can lay against it. There was no gray. I think it looks still pretty good because it's just so thin. I think this is like a 1/4 or 1/2 inch thick, so it really just lets the tile rest in there so that it's not open. So here's a look at the 3 rows. I've never had to put edging on, a wall. I've never had to tile a wall. So I wasn't sure. I know you're supposed to nail it in. I took off the muscle bound and put it on the muscle bound. Obviously, when people use like thin set, they just use the thin set and then put that on the wall and put the edging on. With this muscle bound, I wasn't sure if this was the route to go, but I did it anyways. And then now I went back through and then I had to cut muscle bound to go on the top of the edging so that the tile had something to stick to, because I took the muscle bound away from the tile for on the edge there. So it was an extra step. Again, I'm sure I didn't have to do that where I put it on the muscle bound, but I did, and it worked. this tiling is going on forever, but I really do like it. I just am trying to take my time, and it's just a lot. I tend to bite off more than I can chew, and then I suffer through, but I end up liking what I do after. So hope you enjoyed this video, but if you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. I do enjoy making these. Here's a little preview for next video, where I'm hoping I will finish the sides and get the grouting done. This stupid corner. Ugh. I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.